Thomas, welcome to the Experience Project. For anyone that is listening, this is Thomas Forbes. He's the owner of Cioccolato in the North Beach neighborhood of San Francisco. Tom and I have known each other for a very, very long time. I think I
A
was
little
doing the
while.
math, and I think we met when we were four. So
That's
we've
about
known
right.
each other for a good period of time. But today we are here to chat about the experience of running a candy and fudge store in an iconic neighborhood. So hoping to dissect the Willy Wonka experience. But Thomas, tell us a little bit about Cioccolato and
Yeah.
what it is.
So Cioccolato is I suppose you could call it an institution at this point in North Beach. North Beach is a great neighborhood, very historic neighborhood in San Francisco. It's one of the oldest. Traditionally, the Italian neighborhood. Not that many Italians left, but there's a few. My landlord, in particular, is Italian. His name's Steve, but his last name is Italian, and he insisted that the first owners of the chocolate shop, the candy store, give it an Italian name. So, being the creative people that they are, they decided to name it Sugar Chocolate or Zucchero Cioccolato. So, Z Cioccolato was born. That was in 2002. Funny enough, they actually opened on September 11th, 2002, which I was like, that is the worst day I could imagine to start a shop, which I think kind of speaks to their business acumen. They were very good at running a candy store. They almost ran into the ground just because they didn't know how to run a business. And then they sold it to a guy named Mike who knew how to run a business, but I think something that he really lacked was the eye for the customer's side of things. And not in a bad way to him, but he didn't really care about how things looked or how things felt when you walked into the store. So there's just a variety of things when I came in for the first time, I was like, oh, that's a little janky. And Mike didn't seem to care that things were a little janky. Speaking about my experience, so Z Cioccolato is great. It's a wonderful candy store. It's great. It has every candy you could ever imagine. There's just a thousand, literally, when it comes to stock keeping units or SKUs, we have like 30,000 SKUs in our system. It's ridiculous how many things we have sold at that store. We don't sell all of them, but there's so many types of candy, and we try to have all of them. I actually get pissed when somebody comes in and they're like, "You don't have this?" I'm like, "Well, I will next time you come in." So we have a lot of candy, but what we are known for is fudge, which is an extremely nostalgic thing. When a lot of people think of fudge, they think of grandma, and I get that. I also think of an old lady when I think of fudge. And fudge is great. It's butter and sugar, and then a lot of people think of chocolate, and that's what fudge is known for. Z Cioccolato, we make a lot of fudges. We're up to 358 fudges that we have made. I have a new one coming out hopefully tomorrow. So new fudges all the time. But we don't just make grandma's fudge. We make really interesting fudges. We make things that nobody else makes, which we're very proud of. So we make weird things, good things, but weird things. And that is, like one of our selling points, I suppose. Not just our selling; it's the big selling point. So we make the best fudge on the West Coast of the United States. I always say the best on the West Coast because there's this mythical island in Michigan that apparently is better than anybody on making fudge. So anytime I say we're the best in the world, somebody's like, "What about Mackinac Island?" I'm like, "All right, well, yes, there's an island that is better than us. That's fine." But we make really good fudge. We use excellent chocolate. We use excellent products. We have excellent ideas, and that is what I really pride myself on: is taking my knowledge of food and applying that to fudge. So we're making new stuff, which is exciting. Um,
Hey, I can personally attest that your fudge is absolutely incredible. Been able to
it's
try
pretty good.
many, many flavors, nowhere near 350 plus of them, but everything that I've tried is pretty spectacular. What are some of the weird ones, just so that people can hear
Yeah.
what some of the wild ones are?
Um, so we have our most famous one, which is a little weird, but it's not bad. It's a peanut butter pie, so it's peanut butter fudge at the bottom. This is our signature flavor. This is what we're known for. This is what gets me on TV once in a while. Peanut butter fudge at the bottom, Oreo cookies that we soak in an obscene amount of butter until it is just saturated, and then we bake them so they stay crunchy. Extra fat. Then a big thick layer of marshmallow, then a layer of caramel, then a layer of chocolate fudge. Then we break up a Heath bar, and then we drizzle hot peanut butter and hot caramel on top of that. So there's 7 layers of fudge. It's stacked. It's delicious. It is not nutritious. Haha, is always my joke. But it's very good. That's a great one. Other ones that we have made last October, we always have the North Beach Italian Heritage Parade, formerly known as the Columbus Day Parade. but San Francisco, Columbus Day is gone. It's Italian heritage now. But we have the Italian heritage. Hi, puppy. Italian heritage parade. We made a caprese fudge, which was a layer of tomato fudge at the bottom, then ricotta, not mozzarella, because mozzarella would be weird, but ricotta fudge, layer of basil fudge, and then we did a balsamic drizzle fudge on top. We thought it was going to be horrendous, and then we tried it, and we were like, it's actually good. Like, oh my God, it's actually good. And we gave it out to like the old Italians in the neighborhood because they're like, this is offensive. We're like, well, you should try it. And then they're like, oh my God, it's good. Like, oh, okay, well, no. And we had a lot of fun with that one. We made chicken and waffles, which again, I thought was gonna be awful. We found a company that makes strange flavorings for lip balm generally. And we were like, can we put this in food? They're like, you can. It's incredibly concentrated though. We're like, all right. Perfect. So we took their chicken flavor that they had and we put that into some fudge and a little bit of bouillon, and then made that into chicken fudge. Then we took waffle cone pieces and then maple fudge that we drizzled on top. So it was chicken and waffles. And it was, again, really good. So that's sort of two of the weird standouts. We made a fried pickle fudge recently. We took pickle
County,
juice and added that
county
instead
fair
of
flavor.
water. Yeah, county fair flavors all day. Um, and then in the future, we're going to try to do a ballpark flavor where it's going to be like pretzel pieces and mustard caramel and possibly hot dog flavor. Sounds
We've
awful.
got some friends that might like a hot dog flavored
I
fudge.
like hot dog flavored fudge. I know, Kathleen.
Exactly.
Um, but those are kind of weird things we do. But we also make really good stuff. Very interesting fudges. Like next month, we're also doing a saffron dark chocolate fudge, which is very elegant. It's dusted with gold leaf on top, so that's our classy fudge next month. We are doing a passion fruit and yuzu dark chocolate fudge. We're doing a pistachio baklava fudge next month. So we have some fun ones. Elegant fudges too. They make great gifts.
Fudge can be
But
elegant.
yeah, fudge can be all kinds of things. The great thing is it's butter and sugar. And so at the end of the day, you can make it taste like anything you want. It's just fat and sugar, and then you just turn it into anything you want.
It's a
So
good
it's fun.
foundation. I think one of my favorite things is seeing your Instagram page when you are trying new fudges, and whether it's your team or anyone coming in off the street, they try it and they're like, "Oh, not bad."
Yeah, I know. Like, hey, that's actually good is one of my favorite
Yeah,
phrases to hear. Like, oh, that's actually good. Like, what did you think it would be? Like, did you
there goes
expect it to
amazing.
be terrible? It's like, yes.
So when you put all of this together, what do you try to encapsulate in the Z Cioccolato experience?
Yeah. I mean, one part of it is the nostalgia hit. Um, Nostalgia goes a long way, especially with a product like Fudge, which is, again, it does hit the nostalgia button. So if somebody comes in and they want grandma's fudge, I got it better than grandma. So nostalgia is a big thing. The shop itself is very colorful. It is a real rainbow of color. It's gotten better since the last time you were there too. So I'm trying to make it just pop with color when you walk in, that everything is loud. There's music playing. There's the smell of caramel pumped out of the shop because we pop caramel popcorn all day. So we try and engage all the senses when you come to the shop. There's music playing, there's color everywhere, there's smell everywhere, and then get fudge in mouths. I want to give people samples of fudge as soon as possible. And I told all my staff, I'm like, don't ask them which one they want to try. Say, hey, try this one, and just hand them fudge. Put fudge in mouths, like just jam it in their mouth like babies. So engaging all the senses is important. I'm not going to touch people because people getting uncomfortable with me touching them. My hands are off as sticky, not stinky. So sticky fingers, not a good touch. But otherwise, yeah, like you get 4 out of 5 senses engaged. That's a long way gone. Um, and then, I mean, if I can't touch people physically, I can touch them emotionally. And I mean that seriously. I try to be friendly. A friendly face goes such a long way to helping people. The Gen Z stare joke is not a lie. Where sometimes some people will just literally stare when you walk into a store. Like I've seen customer service now. I'm very cognizant of it. Where I walk into a store, and I'm like, "Hello," and they're like, "What are you doing?" Like, "Hi." I'm like, talk to me. I'm your customer. So I mean, greeting people when they come in, being friendly, asking them why they're here or where they're from. I get a lot of tourists. We get people from all over the world in North Beach, which is a wonderful thing, and I love seeing people from around the world come to the city that I get to call home, even if I live in Oakland now. My heart is in San Francisco. And so I love when people are engaged with the city. I love to know where they're going, why they're here. If they're local, I love that they came into my shop. So many people will write off my shop as a tourist trap. I'm like, but it's not. It's not a tourist trap. It's better than that. It's the best candy store in San Francisco. Um,
What
so
do you think it means to be a fixture of an iconic community? I've hosted lots of events in San Francisco, so I've been there for 2, 3, 5 days at a time. But everything that I've ever done is ephemeral. I come in, come and go. But you've been there since you said 2002?
too, coming up on
2002.
24th,
So
25th year coming up soon.
that's pretty remarkable. So what does it mean to be an institution in your neighborhood?
Um, it carries a strange level of responsibility, I suppose. Because I have people come in who say, I used to come here as a kid, and they have their kids with them. And that's really cool. It is a very neat thing. And I think it's an important thing to have in the neighborhood too. Retail isn't dying as much as some people might think it is, but generic retail is dying. There's a place called It's Sugar down at Fisherman's Wharf. It's this giant, huge space that opened up in, I think it used to be the Rainforest Cafe. And I'm not talking shit about any of my competitors. I don't consider them competition. I'm just, excuse my language. Um, but they have this giant space that they bought, or that leased, obviously, and they filled it with candy, every type of candy. Really, like I am jealous of some of the stuff they have there. They have like giant M&M figures that I'm like, oh, those are so cool. I wish I could have a giant M&M man in my shop, but it's all silly. And um, you go in there one time, you've seen it, you will never go back ever. With Z Chocolate, I'm not saying that like, oh, people want to come back over and over. They do because we are authentic. The It's Sugar place, the last time I went there, they have downsized the amount of space that they were using. It used to be it was 2 floors. Then I went and it was like 1.5 floors. And then this time it was like the previous time it was like 1 floor. And then I went this time and it was like sectioned off to like one half of 1 floor is now the space. I was like, ooh, they are hurting for sugar sales. Like I know it's rough out there, but like, oh, I know why it's rough because nobody needs to come back here ever again. With Z Cioccolato, it's different. People want to come back to my store because it is an experience that they remember or that we make memorable. I tell my staff when people come in here, we are our competition is everything else you can do in San Francisco. That's a lot of stuff, but is better than us. Like, there's no way that we can hold a candle to Muir Woods or to Alcatraz. These are much better experiences people are going to have, but we can make it memorable. We can make it where somebody goes home and like, yeah, I mean, I went to Alcatraz, I went to Muir Woods, and I went to this little fudge shop that they were like the nicest people, and like I had the best fudge. And actually, I'm gonna get some more. I'm gonna order some when I get home. So I want it to be something that locks in people's memories. But then also, like I said, locals. I love my locals. We give a local discount, of course, because we got to get the locals back in there. I have my frequent fudge packer cards because I can't stop making fudge packing jokes. But just making sure that my locals are coming back and that we do keep providing the same experience. But again, I'm trying to elevate it slightly. I'm never going to be an apothecarium. It is never going to be an Apple store inside there. It is full of cotton candy, but I can make it look nicer. I can get better lighting. I can get new shelves, which I've done since I bought the place. Um, just stuff that was falling apart. I'm fixing day by day. Like every day, I try to be 1% better than I was the day before, without losing the charm of the shop. It doesn't need to be run down. It can look nice. It doesn't need to look like immaculate because it's a candy store. People are gonna spill things everywhere all the time. Taffy flies out of barrels. I'm fine with that, but yeah, gotta make it fun though.
I like that.
And one thing I have fingers crossed for heavily is San Francisco does have a legacy business program. If your shop or your store has been around for 30 years now, it was 25. They just changed it to 30, I know. But if you can get to 30 years, the city does give your landlord, not you, but your landlord a break on rent. So your landlord can choose to pass that on to you or not, which I thought was interesting. I always thought like, oh, the business gets the money. No, they don't. Your landlord gets the money for having a legacy business inside their building. My landlord is a good dude, and he's like, as soon as you hit that mark, I will give you that money to take off of your rent. Like the city's paying me your rent. I'm not going to keep it myself. But he's like, but I could.
It's
Which
just
was an
gonna
implied
haunt
like
that over you.
if you F me, I'm gonna keep that money and you can kick rocks. Yeah, he would never do that, but so that's something to look forward to as a legacy business. You know, they'll make it authentic or official, like give it a stamp.
That's
Haven't gotten
cool.
the
Yep.
mayor into the shop yet. I'm trying
That
to
was
do
going to
that.
be one of my questions is
Yeah.
what is your relationship with the city, or what are you trying to get your relationship to be with the city?
Yeah. So it depends on which part of the city you're talking about. Um, I have a great relationship with the Muni bus drivers because there's the 8 bus stops right in front of our store, and we pump that smell out. I literally have bus drivers run off the bus into the store and grab candy and run back in. I have a great relationship with the mailman because we are one of his busiest stops. Um, as far as my city supervisor, he follows me on Instagram. Thank you, Danny. That's nice of him, and he likes my posts. That's great. And then I haven't gotten the mayor in there yet. I see Mayor Lurie all over town doing his Let's Go San Francisco stuff, which more power to him. I love it. He's kind of a goober, but I like him. So I'll try to get him in there. And then with the local police department, I actually have a very good relationship. The local police station is right around the corner from our shop. I know all the beat cops. I think we actually have some really good cops in the neighborhood, which I like. They seem to be good people. I'm not saying cops are bad people, but like we seem to have really good ones, which I like. And they're friendly and they're nice and they stop by and they're like, hey, anything going on? And then with 311, the city services, like if there's a problem, call 311. Burn it to the ground. Where I'm like, hey, I got somebody passed out in my doorway. I don't want to call 911 about it, but like, can you send somebody? Like, are they interfering with your business? I'm like, well, people are stepping over them to get in my store. I'm like, all right, well, people have a right to lay down what they want. And I was like, I understand, but like, I have a right to run a business too. Or like, if there's piles of trash in front of my store, I will call and I'm like, hey, there's piles of trash in front of my store. Like, do you want to make an official report? I'm like, no, I just want you to come clean it up. Like, can you come clean up the garbage can that's overflowing outside of my store? And they're like, we'll get on it. And then usually they do by the end of the day. I did I did squeaky wheel on a trash can because there used to be a trash can. They took it out. There's just piles of trash like collecting at Broadway and Columbus. And I emailed Danny Souter, the supervisor's office. And I was like, hey, put that trash can back. And 2 days later, the trash can was back. And I was like, hey, it
You got some
works.
pull in the
Like
neighborhood.
a squeaky wheel, baby. Um, so a little bit, but not much. I don't know. So San Francisco is such an interesting city. You know, city government and politics is we can get into a deep rabbit hole on that, which we do not
That's
need
a
to do.
whole
But
different
that's a whole
conversation.
different podcast. Yeah,
That's awesome. Let's see. Before we dig in further into what the experience is, I'd like to get your point of view on what do you think is the line between a transaction and an experience? What is that difference between a moment versus a story worth telling?
sure. So a transaction is, in my mind, and I'm a pretty transactional guy too. It's cold. It is unemotional. It is very matter of fact. It is A for B, or it is this for that. Um, it's fair. A transaction is fair. Everybody gets what they needed out of it. If you're being transactional, it's usually if you're doing it with me, it's fast. Um, and personally, if I need to get something done, I will handle it very quickly. I do not mince words when it comes to getting things done. If I know something needs to be finished, I will say we need to do this right now. Like as a boss, I'm a pretty nice boss, but when it is high stress season, I get very direct and I'm not mean, but I've had people be like, "You're scary." I was like, "Yeah, well, I'm just being very direct." So I think transactions are very direct. I do come from an attorney. My dad was a very good attorney, so I know how to deal with a direct transaction and having a good case for why you need these things. An experience is emotional. It engages you. It engages your senses. It is something that you. I think it is emotional. Is probably the biggest thing that I would say with an experience is that it engages you from the the emotional side of your brain, not the logic side as much. There's of course logic involved, but what's a good example? Uh, I've jumped out of a lot of airplanes in my life. I know that's a weird way to put it, but I've done it in a variety of places, and The best jumps I ever had were the ones where the guys doing it with me were just very excited. And like they weren't just like, oh yeah, here we go, jumping out of a perfectly good airplane again. Everybody's like amped up and excited. It feeds on itself. It's the emotions getting after you. That's much more fun. Like the experiences I remember, and again, I've jumped out of a few planes. The ones I remember, are the ones where we were very excited and very engaged. Like I can remember those jumps specifically, and like every minute of them. The other ones were like, yeah, for a thing, we did it. It's over, but not very fun. Um, and yeah, like I have gone on a lot of trips and I've had great memories on some of those, but the ones that really stand out are those ones that are tied to emotion. One of my favorites, I was riding horses in Costa Rica with my dad, and we had just gone up a very long, muddy trail. It was slow and boring and a lot of switchbacks. We like, got to the top of this mountain ridge, and the guy who's our guide asked us, "Do you guys want to run?" They're like, "Do you want to run?" He's like, "Do you want to run the horses?" He's like, "The horses would probably like to run now. They've been, slogging. Like, it's not gonna like wear them out. Like they're not tired." He's like, "No, like trust me, the horses would like to run at this point. Like they'd like to gallop." And we're like, "Okay, like let's do it." So it's like, yeah, and the horses take off like just bullets, and we're running a lot across this mountain ridge in Costa Rica with jungle, like the rainforest on both sides of us. And then about 6 miles away, Volcan Arenal, the biggest volcano in Costa Rica, starts exploding, just firing an eruption into the air, and it was the wildest experience. It was insane, and like I locked in my brain. I was like, that one is permanent. That is never going away. I could get like severe dementia, and I'll probably still hold on to that one because that experience was just once in a lifetime. Like just every bit of my senses were engaged. I was excited. I was having a great time. It was beautiful. It was loud. Like you could, every bit of my senses were engaged. It was an experience like no other. And that's what an experience is. It hits you
That
everywhere.
is a phenomenal experience. What a cool
Yeah.
thing to have experienced. I mean, that's up there
It
with
was
a lot of
wild.
amazing life experience.
Yeah, it was a good one.
So deep
Um, can I shoot off volcanoes with the Cioccolato? No, no, I cannot.
that you could
Unfortunately,
figure out a way to make some candy volcanoes, make
we
those
could.
start working
I
for
could.
you.
I know.
So let's deconstruct the Z Cioccolato experience. So, what do you think are some of the intentional inputs that have created your experience versus some of the fortuitous moments, some of the things that have maybe been strokes of luck, and how those two things have come together to build out this experience of this shop?
Yeah. Man, repeat that question for me again. Let me hear that one
What are
again.
the
Let me marinate
inputs?
on that. Yeah.
What
What
are
are the
the
inputs?
part of this project is not only being able to identify what an experience is, but what are the inputs to be able to create these experiences? And I think what's neat about your shop is having been there with my kids and quite literally seeing kids in a candy store. And I've had the products and it's amazing and delicious when I've gifted it to people and it puts a smile on their face. Being able to see what makes an interesting experience in one industry or in one business, what can people start to take away and learn? So I'm curious for anyone that's building interesting experiences, what are the intentional inputs that you are putting in to try to make this experience? And what have been some of those unforeseen wins, some of those fortuitous moments that maybe have gone into it where you didn't intend for it to go in, but for better or for worse, it made a change. And so trying to figure out what's intentional, what's unintentional, and are helping people create these neat experiences.
I would say that with the inputs that come in, the first thing is, who is your target for this experience? Like who is the person that you're trying to make this experience for? Like you mentioned your kids. I tell every one of my employees, kids are our best customers by far, not just because they love candy, but because it's hard to say no to your kids in a candy store. They're very excited and they're very pumped on all this wonderful stuff, and it's contagious. If you can get a kid excited about candy, you can probably get their parents excited about it too. So, who is the experience for? I'm not saying it's always for kids because I have plenty of people who come in as adults too. But who are you? Why are they here? I run a candy store. Um, so no one needs what I have. No one needs candy ever, ever, ever. No one needs an experience like that. So I have to make it something that they want to experience. It has to be something they really want to do. So how do I engage that? What are the inputs? I mean, like again, um, I know I've mentioned the senses before, but you engage them on all levels. You hit them with get people to smell. That's the first thing. It always smells good in our shop. If we are making brownies in the back, I will bring a plate of brownies and like throw them behind the counter so that it smells like brownies. They don't know that they're there. I will have candy popcorn. Like I have popcorn going all day. I tell my staff, I'm like, just give the candy, give away the popcorn, give it away. They're like, well, shouldn't they have to buy something? I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like it costs 2 cents. Like just pop it all day. Like throw it in the garbage. Like give it to the homeless guy outside. Like I don't care. Like give the popcorn away. Just get it out the door. Like get the smell going. So hit people with a sense of smell from far away. Smell is one of our strongest senses. Actually, it's one of the ones most tied to memory too, and that's real brain psychology. Smell goes a long way. Um, so get them with the smell. Get them with visuals. My shop is loud and colorful. Since you came in, there's this big ugly blue banner that I had in the back. The banner is being polite. It was an ugly blue dirty sheet.
Yeah.
It was filthy, disgusting, awful. I hated it from the first day I walked in. It had been there for 24 years. It was so gross. I finally chopped it down and replaced it with this big, colorful thing. It says like the Cioccolato as the city skyline. It's like comic book loud. I have had so many more people coming in and taking photos of that
That's
in the
awesome.
3 weeks since I put that up. People are so much more engaged. It just looks so much better because it's visually impactful from far away. When you walk by, you see it. I've had people come in and be like, "How long have you guys been open?" I'm like, 24 years. They're like, "No, because I've walked on this street every day for the last like 15 years. I've never seen you before." I'm like, just because I put up a banner, like it's wild. Um, so that's one. And then again, engage in the sense that we have music playing. I make sure that the music is of an acceptable quality, that it is cromulent. Um, it's not
That's a
like
deep reference for everyone.
yeah, it is deep cut, deep Simpsons cut. But I would like it to be appropriate in general. And I have an awful mix that I hate. That was the 1950s and 60s, the Cioccolato mix. I inherited that. Um, and it is that is fortuitous though, because god damn it, does it work. Um, when you put that on, sales are better. I don't know why people want to listen to like the Big Bopper when they come into a shop and they're like, now I'll spend money. I hate it, but it works. That damn 50s 60s mix, man, that thing works. So setting the right tone, you get people again, you're hitting them with the nostalgia. You got to set the tone the right way, and that is engaging them across all their senses. I think that's just a huge part of it. Making an experience is getting them in the emotional center of their brain, not the logic center, at least for me. I when I was galloping on horses, I was not using my logic. I was extremely in the moment and whooping at the top of my lungs because it was so cool. Um, so make it just so cool. Like make it just such an engaging, exciting thing. And then other fortuitous things. Um, Location doesn't hurt.
You do
That
have a pretty prime location.
can't complain about that. We are right between Chinatown and Fisherman's Wharf and downtown. So we get a variety of different people. We will get, office workers in the morning walking. We call it the zombie crawl at 8:30 to 9:30 in the morning. They're all walking with like headphones on. I'm like, now if we can get like three of them to come in, that's good money. Like get three of those zombies to stop and be like, what smells so good? Like there we go. Now we're cooking. It's a good start to the day. And then Chinatown is such a great tourist spot that people are walking through from Union Square to Chinatown into North Beach. They come right by our shop. Fisherman's Wharf is a huge draw for San Francisco, obviously. It's massive. Actually, my new fudge that I'm making tomorrow is based off the giant fat sea lion that is currently
Chonkers.
Chonkers, yeah. So that'll be very timely and relevant in years when people are watching this podcast. But for
Chonkers.
tomorrow, it's gonna what is Chonkers? But yeah, I'm gonna try and make a Chonkers fudge tomorrow. It should be fun. I have little fish molds coming, so I'm gonna make little white chocolate fish and just fill fudge with like every chunky thing I can think of. Be Chonkers. All right. Side note, get that Chonkers fudge. Yeah. So yeah, location is great. Having the right spot, I guess, is a huge part of the experience. Making it sure it's in the right location. You got the right vibe for the right spot. That's important.
That's cool.
Um,
What's funny
and
about the
then
music is I just recently heard that the most positive song ever recorded is Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys. Not only is the song positive, but the tone, the lyric, like everything about it
Everything.
makes your brain happy. So I
Huh.
wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't already
It's
on
on the
your.
list.
Yeah.
It's in there. Yeah, of course it is. I mean, it is a good song. Every single one of those songs I'm beyond sick of. But
When you
yeah,
hear them every
that's
day.
you hear them every day on a constant loop. And I did make a rule with my staff. I was like, you can listen to whatever you want as long as we're making at least $200 an hour in sales, which isn't that high. Like that's doable. Um,
And if you're not, you bring it back to the 50s and
we're bringing back
60s.
the 50s, 60s mix immediately. And I mean, if you start the day in a deficit, you're going to have a very hard time getting the average back up. So if you have a 0 hour, you have to have a $400 hour the next hour. So it's hard to get back. If you start in a deficit, guys, you're going to be listening to 50s, 60s all day. So get those sales early. Um, they never, ever escape the 50s and 60s mix. They do. But certainly the first couple hours of the day, I'm like, oh no, it's 50s, 60s time, baby.
So speaking of perhaps coming from a deficit, thinking about friction. So you've got a lot of things that are obviously in your favor, which is awesome. What are some of the frictions? What are the biggest obstacles to you to create the best Z experience
Um, as a business owner, or yeah, I
for the
mean,
business and maybe for the customers? You could approach
for
it
the
from both
customer,
ends.
yeah, for the customer, I think the biggest friction experiences is price is a huge thing. Um, just people are price sensitive right now, and that's just reality. Everything is expensive. So is my stuff. It's not cheap. Getting candy, you'd think like candy is cheap, and I remember when candy was cheap too. I am shocked by what I have to charge for some things. Like I am like, that's the price of a Snickers now. Like I can't believe I'm charging this much for a Snickers bar. Like that's offensive. But I have to. So customers are price sensitive, especially when oil or when gas prices are $6 a gallon. That's a pretty tall order to be like, here's an $8 piece of fudge. Like, or I could put gas in my car. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I need that fudge that bad. So that will always be a tough price sensitivity is just real. Um, and then uh strangely health concerns. Like I don't understand why you came into a candy store sometimes if you're not interested in sweets. People are like, I don't eat sugar. And I'm like, interesting choice
Might be
today.
in the wrong
Like,
store.
yeah, like I don't understand you then. Like, why are you here? Are you intrigued by small stuffed animals? Because I have those. Like, here are some small beanie babies for you, perhaps. Or would you be interested in these like Mexican spiced nuts that I have in my Mission District section? I have those. Or like Japanese peanuts. That's an option for you. But why are you here, sugar-free person? Um, then some people don't like fudge. Again, why try mine? Like try it. I didn't like fudge either. I didn't really talk about my experience of why I started working at Cioccolato. Uh, I started working there because I needed a job. I was 2021. I was out of work and needed a place to go, and I needed to get out of my house because I had been at home for hours and months and felt like a crazy person. And Mike needed help. The old owner needed help because they were going to go out of business during the pandemic. So I was like, sure, I'll come in and help. He's like, "What do you do?" And I was like, Mike, I've had 1,000 jobs. I've done so much work. Like, I have so many different things that I've done." He's like, "Oh, you're also a cook?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." He was like, "Oh, cool. Do you know about chocolate?" And I was like, "No, not at all. I like it." Yeah. Where are we? What are we talking about?
We're talking about friction.
Friction. Yes, for customers. Other points of friction. Uh, they're in a hurry. That's like my least favorite thing. And they're like, I don't have time. I'm like, why are you here? Like, come back. Like, wait. Like, they pop their head in. I'm like, come on in. They're like, oh, we don't have time. I'm like, what was that? Um, like, you got time? It's a candy store. Like, come on, hang out. Um, and then for me, as a business owner, I think staff will always be your biggest point of friction in making a good experience. I like my staff. I have good employees. who work hard. Um, they will never be as motivated as I am, ever. I am the king of the experience. They are not. They do not care about the experience anywhere near as much as I do. And I have to keep that in mind anytime I'm getting frustrated with them. I'm like, why don't you guys care about these things? I'm like, oh, yeah, because this is just a job.
Paycheck.
It's just a paycheck. I have to remember that you guys are just here for a paycheck and you don't give a shit. They do. I'm not saying that they don't, but like they don't care like I do. And I think anytime you are the guy running the show, no one cares as much as you do. Except for, of course, the people who want to come in and experience the thing that you're doing. Like my customers care a lot about their experience at the store. That's why I'm like, greet them, say hello, find out why they're here. Like, give them an experience, make it fun. This is a fun place too. Like, I hire my staff for their personalities, and half the time they turn into these weird robot humans that I'm like, what was that? Like, why? Why are you acting like that? Like, why aren't you being yourself? Be weird. I hired you because you're weird. Like my best salesperson, it's just a very affable dude who just loves to talk. He might not do a lot of other work around the store, but I don't care because he just sells things. He just gets people talking and then they buy a bunch of candy. I don't care if he never mops the floor. Like, whatever. Like,
How do you try to
I can
draw
mop the
that
floor.
weirdness back out of people?
Um, God, that's a good question. How do I draw that weirdness back out of them? I think empowering them to own part of the experience is part of it. Like I have an employee, Tara, who loves to make things look cute. Tara makes things cute. She loves when somebody's like, I'm getting a gift for this person. And she's like, do you want it to look cute? She's all excited. She's like, oh, is it going to look cute? They're like, yeah, sure. She's like, oh, good. She like runs and grabs like ribbon and things. And she's all excited. And so I love when she gets excited about making things cute for people. I think that's great. Um, like Eric, the guy who likes to talk, he just loves hearing about people. He just loves to hear about people's experiences. So I don't have to make him be his weird self. Um, some people, they get shy, strangely. I'm like, you work in retail. You shouldn't be shy. But they get nervous. Uh, and I will have to like, jazz them up a little bit of like, like, like you're a funny person. Don't forget that you're funny. Or like, I have one guy who I know that he's been like trying to work out a lot, and I'll be like, hey buddy, like you're looking swole today. Like just give him like a little
Give
excited,
them a little
little
something.
just a little like give him a little boost during the day. Get them excited about their day. Give them a little, a little extra charisma. Goes a long way. Boost their egos. I mean, you gotta get them excited in some way. So if they're feeling good about themselves, then that's gonna help them just be better at what they're doing. I think everybody's better when they feel good about themselves.
That's
That's
right.
just standard.
That's definitely true. All right, so I got one final question, and then we are able to carry on with our days. But what is the takeaway? What do you think others can learn from Z Cioccolato?
Hmm. Um, Man, what can people learn from the Z Chocolato and experiences? I would say engaging people emotionally is again the biggest thing I do all day. Um, Making them like hitting them in those pleasure centers. Would put it. I think is really important. I think that's what makes a memorable experience is that it excites them and it doesn't hit them in anywhere except the feels. I know that's a weird way of putting it, but like you get them in the feels, the experience is much more memorable. It's much more exciting than it will ever be by telling them that it's a good time. No one ever gets told that they're having fun. Like no one is ever like, "Hey, you're having a good time now." They're not gonna be like, "Yes, I am." Like, no, you have to make them experience it by engaging them in their illogical brains and get them excited about everything that's happening.
Sometimes the best thing in life are the things that you don't need, to your point earlier. The things that maybe even a little bad for you. Sometimes those are the things that are worth living.
Nobody likes candy. I mean, everyone likes candy, but no one needs candy.
I mean, that's kind of the point. Picking your brain about these interesting experiences. Everyone wants to know what it's like to actually run a candy store.
Yeah, it's wild. I didn't even talk that much about how I just run a candy store. It's every day's an adventure, I will say. Um, about 95% of the time, it's actually fun. It's,
I mean, that's a pretty high percentage.
it's a pretty high percentage. Candy stores are pretty good business. People come into a candy store because they're either having the best day and they want to treat themselves, or they're having the worst day and they need to
Need to
pick
be
me up.
brought back
But
up.
either way, I can provide something special for them there.
Chances of being able to bring people back up.
Yeah. Um, so I will always have a soft spot in my heart for Alzheimer's and dementia because my father passed away from Alzheimer's. And there's a woman who's been coming to the shop quite a lot. And she lost her husband about 6, 7 months ago. And she, she loves caramel apple pops. It's like her thing that she loves caramel apple pops. She comes and gets those every day. And not every day, just on random days, she'll come in and get a caramel apple pop. And she's so sad anytime that we don't have them. Like anytime we don't have them, you just see her like her heart like just fall a little bit, and it breaks my heart. Uh, so I showed her that I now have 50 cases of caramel apple pops in the back. We have a lot of storage space, fortunately, but I was like, hey, I need to show you something. We will always have caramel apple pops for you. She's like, that's so sweet. And I was like, I got you. Like, I will always have caramel apple pops for you. We will never not have them. If we ever don't, you let me know. She's like, that's so sweet of you to think of me. I was like, I think about you anytime we don't have them. I never want to have that feeling again. She thought it was really sweet. Um, there's another day. This woman came in and it was a rainy day. And she's like, do you mind if I just sit inside your store for a minute? I was like, sure. Yeah, absolutely. And she's like, I'm having a bad day. I was like, oh, like I'm sorry. Like, what's going on? She's like, well, my computer broke and I took it to a guy to try and have it fixed. He said that he can't fix it because the screen is broken, but the computer is working. I don't know what that means. I'm old. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, so the only problem is that this part's not lighting up, but the computer inside is fine. Like, you, your photos. She was really worried that all of her family photos were gone. She's like, all my photos are on there, and I was like, oh, it's not the end of the world. Like, this is fixable. Like, there's another, like, he was actually being nice that he wasn't like, you need to buy a new computer. He was like, you just need to get this stuff off of the computer. I was like, so let me try and write down. It's also a pouring raining day, so there's nothing going on in the store. No one is coming in. I was like, let me like try and write down what you need to do and like what you should talk about. And I was like, you'll need to get like a flash drive and transfer that, but you'll need to have somebody do this for you, and then you can pop it into a new computer and they'll all be there. She's like, are you sure? And I was like, if I'm not sure, you can come back and you let me know. She didn't buy anything in the store. But then she was like, all right, well, I'm going to go out and try and get a taxi. And I was like, you're going to try and get a taxi? I was like, taxis don't exist anymore. Like, you're not gonna be able to flag down a taxi. I was like, let me call you a Lyft. And she was like, what is a Lyft? And I was like, uh, or an Uber. And she was like, what is that? And I was like, oh, well, it's just a car service that will come pick you up. And she's like, oh, well, I was like, where do you live? And she told me her address. And it was like, let's say I'll just say Main Street. She's like 777 Main Street, which is like 5 blocks away. And I was like, "Oh, that's very close." And she was like, "I know, but I can't walk up the hill anymore." And I was like, "That tracks because you are older than time." I was like, "Tell you what, like I am gonna call you a car." And then the guy pulls up and he pulls up across the street and it's pouring rain. And I'm like, "Hey, can you turn that car around and like flip a Yui, buddy? Like come over here." And he's like, what? I was like, make a U-turn and like come over to the other side of the street. You're on the wrong side of the street. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, drive over here where I'm standing in the rain waving at you and come to this side of the street. He's like, can you just walk over here, please? And I was like, no, I can't. Because this lady, and I like point in the doorway where this old woman is like, she needs a ride up the hill, and you're going to give her a ride, and I'm going to give you a really nice tip. So, like, please take this woman to her house and make sure she gets inside. And he's like, oh, okay. And he like pulls around, and I'm helping the woman into the car, and she just turns and she's like, hands me $100 bill. And I was like, no, 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 no. I was like, I don't need your money. She's like, no, I want you to have this. And I was like, no, I don't need your, no, like, no, lady, no. And she's like, no. I've been holding this is super sad actually. This part, she's like, I've been holding on to this $100 for the next time somebody is nice to me, and you are the first person who's been nice to me in weeks. So here's $100 for you. And I was like, I don't want your money. I was like, keep the $100. She was like, you take it. You are a nice person. You take that $100. You've made my day much better. And I was like, all right. I'll take your $100, lady. But I was just like, God damn! Like no one's been nice to her for weeks. Like, holy shit! I don't know. That's like a self-fulfilling prophecy that she's a miserable person and she brings misery with her everywhere she goes. But you know, I didn't care about making a sale with her. I cared about engaging with her and like making sure she felt like a human being on a rainy, shitty day. That she just wanted to stand out of the rain for a minute. You know, you got to
It's
help
a
people
part of
out wherever you
being
can.
part of your community. It goes from
Yeah, it
fudge to
is.
IT help to hailing a car for 'em.
And then I mean,
Well,
I make
this
people's days every day. Every day I make
I
people's day.
mean, when we came in there and I brought my girls in there, they were
Yeah,
stoked.
yeah,
Stoked! It was so cool.
yeah. Whenever my nieces or nephews come in, I love it because they have such a good time, and I hope that when they get older, they don't think that like, man, we used to be so excited about that candy store. I hope they still are like, oh, that candy store is the best place. Um, I hope they never get jaded and they don't think it's cool that I run a candy store because it is kind of cool. It's a neat
It is
thing.
cool. That's why I wanted to
So
talk
weird.
about it because I think it's cool.
It's such a weird thing. Like I so fell into this work. Um, I never thought I would own a candy store ever,
I mean,
ever,
talk
ever.
about fortuitous moments. Like you talk to people
Yeah,
and like, I'm an attorney or I'm an accountant. Hi, I'm an accountant. That kind of stuff.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's not interesting. But when you find someone that runs a candy store, that's pretty neat.
It was very fortuitous, that's for sure. Um, I'm glad that glad Mike needed help during the pandemic because yeah, that place would have gone under without me. I will say that. It was very fortuitous for him. That I showed up when I did because man, he was making some bad choices.
I mean, the
So,
way that you
so-
described it sounds like he was running that place well enough to survive for a long
yeah,
time.
it was. Yeah, it was surviving. It was surviving just fine, and it would continue to survive, but it would never thrive. And I would hope to get. I'm hoping to get into its thriving era. It was on its deathbed before he took over. He got it to survival status where it can stay, and it will stay an institution. And I would like to get it to the point where to the moon, baby. Like let's go.